This video is a comprehensive guide to setting up Accudemia. This will be the first part in a multi-part series. To begin, we're going to first start with logging in with our admin credentials that were provided. This will typically be 9 ones with a password that was provided with the purchase. Once we log in, we're going to go through the license agreement and we're going to read that and accept. After accepting the license agreement, we're going to go through the configuration wizard. Make sure that we have some of these things set up correctly. We have the time zone, so you can choose from any time zone. The ID format, now it's going to default to this 9-digit social security number format. For right now, we could actually leave that alone. And then for the first semester, this is really just going to be the start date and the end date of that semester, along with the name, so that that semester can get started in the system. Once we've completed that portion, instead of going through all these options, we're going to actually skip the wizard. The reason why we're just skipping through the wizard is all these options will set up in other videos, as we can actually show you where to find these sections in the software itself. Alright, so we've logged in. Now that we've completed the wizard, we're going to set up your ID format that you'll be using. We click on the menu and go to Administration Control Panel. You'll scroll down and click on User Accounts. In here, the very first option is the User ID mask field. In here, you'll set your ID format. There is an online help guide. In this scenario, we're going to be using a 7-digit ID instead of a 9-digit social security format. So to change that, I'm going to get rid of the dashes and remove 2 of the 9s here. That's going to tell our system that we're using a 7-digit numeric ID format. You may also want to make this mandatory by checking this box. Before you can do so, it is asking you to update your ID as an admin so that you won't get locked out of the system. In my case, I'm going to just leave it the defaults for now, minus the 2 extra numerics. Save that and it updates my ID. Then we can set the ID as mandatory and save the changes. The next step, once you've updated your ID, will be to go ahead and add some other admins that can help you with setting up the system. This could be college administrators or center administrators or even staff that may be wanting to help with getting your account set up. To do that, we're going to go back to the menu, Administration, User Accounts. You'll notice when we get here, there's only going to be the one user account in the system, and that the ID has been updated for that account. We have 4 different roles. You can see there's students, tutors, instructors, and system users. The group that we're going to be adding to is the system users, and you can see that you're actually part of that group as well. So to get started, we'll go ahead and click New Account. The things that we have to provide are the first name, the last name, and the ID. We're going to click on the Security tab to now set the ID of the user. Now in the roles section, this is where we're going to want to click the system user role. When I check that box, you'll notice that I can now apply a template for the user, which is a predefined set of permissions. For instance, if I need somebody that's at the same level that I'll make them a college administrator. If I need someone to be just a center administrator, I might use that option as well. And when you select one of these, you can see exactly what permissions are given. It will have some of them checked, some of them unchecked, based on the role that you select. You can actually come up with your own custom roles in the future, but for right now, I'm just going to make this person a center admin. And before I save the changes, I'm going to go back to the General tab. It's also helpful to provide their email address, so that way they can actually get an email to let them know that they've been added to the system. If you do this, They can then establish a password. So I've added my email, I have my ID, everything should be good. I'll save it. And when I refresh the screen, we'll see both users are in there. You can add as many people as you need at this point to get started helping you set up your Accudemia system. The next section that we'll need to visit is in the menu under Administration, Centers and Classrooms. In the Centers and Classrooms section, you'll notice you'll have a message that states how many centers you can have due to your license restriction. We'll get started by just creating a new one, clicking the new location. When you get in here, you'll have your college at the top, and because we haven't really set anything else up, that's all that's going to be in the location. The next section is the type that you're going to set up. So we have centers, classrooms, and location groups that you can set up. Centers are the primary focus on this setup. Location groups, if I need to group several centers together, maybe there's multiple locations that some admins in charge of. In this case, we're just going to choose center, and I'm going to start off with the center name. Once I've given the center name, I have some tabs at the top where I can assign what subjects or courses and what services are available in that center. We're going to just start off with assigning some services. The courses, those will probably be imported later, so we'll look at that later, but I wouldn't add any right now. For adding a service, I just click the Add Service button. Once I'm there, I'm going to simply type in the service name. So in this case, I'm offering online tutoring, and I have a few options here. So one of the options that I know I want to use with that option is online sign-in for appointments. If you had other services that you may not want to offer appointments for, you can hide that. And also, if you had some services that would need to bypass a waiting line, you could actually skip those as well. So we're going to add a few more just to give you an idea of how this might look. Okay, once I've added my services, they should all show up here. We'll be able to see if these are what the options are that are available. So for instance, the computer use and the walk-in tutoring are face-to-face, and the computer use skips the waiting line, and our online tutoring is actually only available online. So we have those different options set. All I have to do now is save my changes, and now I have my center and services set up. The next step is we're going to want to establish our calendars and off times. To do that, we're going to go to Administration, Control Panel, and we're going to go into the General setting. From there, you'll see now I have the college level as well as my center. I'm going to go ahead and select the college level for now, just to set my calendars across campus. In this section, you'll notice that I can choose the first day of our week, which we start on a Monday. You could have that be Sunday or whatever your start day is. The next is how many blocks will show up on the calendars for everyone. The reason why these are college settings is because this is how every center will have the blocks appear. You can choose from 1 block per hour, 2 blocks per hour, which is every half hour, or 4 blocks per hour every 15 minutes. We're going to leave it the default. Then I'll choose a start time and an end time. So this would be the earliest time that any of my centers are available, and the end time would be the latest time that any of my centers would be available. I'm fine with these defaults, and I'll go ahead and save the changes. Now that that's set up, we're going to need to set the off times. So going back to the menu under Administration, Off Times, we now see a screen where I can go ahead and set my center off times. Now I do have the option to set it at the college level or at the center level. If I set something at the college level, it will mark all of these centers as being out during that time period. So in this case, I just want to mark off some dates for the tutoring center where we'll be closed. Once I select that, I have three modes. I can look at this in term mode, which is the entire semester, merge mode, or exceptions only mode. Merge mode and exceptions only are for a specific week during the semester. So I'll start with term mode. From this screen I can pick which semester. Now we only have the one semester that we created, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave that selected and hit apply filters. This is going to be off times for that center. In our center we don't have any hours of availability during Sunday, so I'm going to go ahead and just click and drag over Sunday, and I'm going to set that as an off time. I can give a reason if I want. I don't have to, but then I'll save. Additionally, Saturday we only offer hours in the morning, so I'm going to go ahead and block off from noon to the end of the day. Same thing, I can provide a reason or not and save that. What this will do is limit my tutors when they go to set their schedules, and also prevent any appointments from being made during that time. Now that we've defined our semester mode, we're going to go ahead and create an exception. The last week of the semester, I do not offer appointments for students, so we're going to go ahead and just block that week out. First I have to select the week and the week of, hit apply, and now I'll see the dates of that week. We'll go ahead and select the end of that semester, click and drag over it, select off time, and then I can try to provide a reason if I'd like. And hit save. Now you can see with the lines through it that this is an exception just for that date. Now I didn't drag it all the way down, so I can click and drag from the bottom of that box and hit save. Now that whole time period is set as off time. If I want to view this in merge mode, I simply select that and hit apply, and then we can see both the exception and the normal time period that we have off during that semester. The semester ended on the 15th, so I don't need to really do anything with this rest of this week. And that concludes this first part in our comprehensive guide to setting up your Accudemia account. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.